Hello guys, welcome back to the Sportsman Untitled Extra, brought to you by Betfred. And boy, do we have a big game preview for you this week. Norwich versus Ipswich in the East Anglian derby. I'm joined by Ollie Mann and Gab Sutton to discuss this one quickly. I mean, Norwich, what a team they've turned into, Gab. Let's start there.
Unbelievable work. I think with Philippe Clement, what we're talking about is just a complete rise in standards. I think he's got the respect of the dressing room straight away. He's someone who, when he walks into a room, he seems to command authority. He's got a fantastic CV as well across Europe. And I think it was a real coup for Ben Napper to attract him to Carrow Road. And I think just you look at the number of players that have improved at Norwich City, like Harry Darling has been unbelievable recently, Oscar Schwartau, who I mentioned as well, Pelle Matson. They've recruited actually better now than we would have appreciated in the first 3 months of the season. So yeah, he's done a great job, and what an incentive for Norwich City to try and stop their deadliest rivals from getting automatic promotion.
They were singing Ipswich Town, we're coming for you when they beaten Millwall at the weekend. And maybe that's a playoff clash that could happen, but I'm not sure that quite works given they beat Millwall. But anyway, Norwich have been superb, and like Gab alludes to, we saw a summer of investment, a lot of investment in young players, which looked like it had completely failed under Liam Manning. What we're now seeing is these young players develop, and we're also seeing these young players that can kick on maybe for the playoffs this season. Might be a bit of a push, but next season, Ollie, is where it surely lies for Norwich.
Absolutely. And I think it reminds you how important it is that when you're doing your recruitment, you need to have the right manager to help these players develop and bring them along. We're talking about a team who, when me and Gab did our preview this season, I sat down and I said, Norwich is some of the most exciting recruitment. The players that they're bringing in are young, talented. They seem to have come from those lesser appreciated leagues who can just completely appreciate in value as you develop them. And it looked like it had failed, you know, with Liam Manning. It was such a bad start to the season. Everything felt toxic and wrong. The turnaround with Philippe Clement is second to none. I mean, you cannot underestimate what a turnaround that is. And I think next season, for me, they've gone just too late. They've just missed the boat on this season. 2 more games, 3 more games, you'd be saying, yeah, there's a massive chance they're in the playoffs. Unfortunately, that feels a bit too short. But next season, I think they're the one team to watch of the teams currently in the Championship, because they look perfectly set. I think you made the point on the show earlier this week. Coventry did this last season. They had an unbelievable rise, one of the best teams in the division, and they went for stability, kept it going through the summer and rode that wave early next season to build a buffer, to build a gap. I think that's the team Norwich could be, because these players seem to get better week after week with training that seems to develop them. I saw it firsthand when we played them. Rubbish first half, incredible after they'd had a conversation with Clement. He just said, you know what, settle it down. I know how to change this. I know it. Trust me. And the players clearly do. They are a team on the up. And yeah, I think they should be very confident heading into this weekend, because, well, they look like one of the best teams in the league.
If they can't get into the playoffs, and they are 6 points off at the time of recording, that will change obviously after the Wrexham-Southampton game. Stopping Ipswich getting promoted would be something they'd absolutely
as good an incentive
love.
As they can get.
And although Ipswich ended that kind of Norwich dominance of this derby recently, it does feel like Norwich could land a hammer blow here.
Yeah, they've got a real opportunity. I think the frustration for Ipswich is that they couldn't go to Carrow Road when Liam Manning was in charge, and Norwich were in crisis, and I think Ipswich could have strolled happily to a big win at that point. Whereas now going to Carrow Road at this stage of the season, where Norwich will... It's almost like for their own cause stopping Ipswich. You know, in that part of the country, that's how passionately they feel about the rivalry. So yeah, I think it's going to be a huge opportunity for Norwich City to try and dent the confidence of their rivals, but also for their own pride, and to finish the season really strongly. But I completely echo Ollie's thoughts on the talent in this Norwich squad.
I don't think it's over yet for Norwich. I think they have to win every single game for the rest of the season, but that would take them to 73 points, and that might just about be enough. So depending on how Hull, Wrexham, Southampton derby get on, Ollie, we'll wait and see. Norwich, by the way, 2-1 with Betfred to win this game. Ipswich 5-4 favourites. Would you have Ipswich as favourites? We've talked them up. They are in this second spot. They're looking quite good, but Bit of short price.
That is I wouldn't have them favourites. That's not the way I'm looking at this one. Obviously, it's close. You can see the odds there. Nobody's odds on. There's no confidence in terms of the market there in looking at it. But I'm not sure. I think the money there is on, 2-1 Norwich. That really feels as though that's where the value is coming out of this game. The home team, one of the best teams. I think when you go back since Clement came in, Ipswich and Norwich are both joint points in terms of points
each,
run
yes.
since then, 49 each. And Norwich are the home team. Ipswich have got all of that sort of build up in their legs. They've got the tension and the pressure of this automatic promotion race where it's up and down, changing every week. I mean, Nunes is going to be huge if Ipswich are going to win it.
I think, I don't know if Nunes is going to start, actually. I reckon they might maybe bring him off the bench or something, but because I think it'll be a thing where, like, if he starts, every time he touches the ball, he's going to get booed, and that's probably going to feed the Norwich fans even more.
I wonder though if that takes the pressure away. Does that make you get one pantomime villain and the other 10 can have a bit less pressure on their game? You almost centre all of that animosity on one man. We're also talking about somebody who, when you look at Ipswich's season, and I've not got the stats in front of me, but I'm sure if we were to be able to draw a line on points won when Nunes is on the pitch, points won when Nunes isn't on the pitch, he's a huge player. He ties together. We talk about that performance against Birmingham and we praise Casey McAteer. Wasn't he fantastic coming off the right? But how much of that is because of the link play of Nunes in the centre? He seems to be the one who can knit together anybody in Ipswich's attack and really drive them forward. I just think he's their key man. If they're getting automatic promotion, you want him on the pitch for as many minutes as possible from now till the end of the season.
Maybe actually, now when you say it like that, maybe he's the kind of character that sort of
he'll love it.
Benefited. Yeah, because when in the reverse fixture, he did seem to thrive off that.
Love it.
Yeah. I think, though, if you tell me, like, guys, if you agree with this, I think Ipswich would be happy with a draw. If you offered Kieran McKenna a point at Carrow Road, I think he would.
That's a shaky game to start playing in a promotion.
No, I know.
Got 2 games.
I'm not saying he would necessarily shut up shop, but I do think that if you offer Kieran McKenna a point, I think they go for it.
And a 0-0 is 10-1, Gab. Can you see me in a 0-0?
I can see a 0. I would take the draw at 5-2 as a value play for me.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
I would go
indeed.
0-0.
I think if Ipswich are in this position where they need to now control things, they have, as we said earlier in the week, Ollie, they have this advantage over Middlesbrough and Millwall. They have 2 games in hand. They are in the driving seat now. It's a case of kind of managing expectations and these sorts of results. But they have plenty of fixtures coming up and they've got to play Norwich away, Southampton, Middlesbrough. It's not an easy run-in for Ipswich.
No, they've got a really, really difficult run-in. I don't think at any point, I've obviously experienced some promotion races as a fan. There is no game where you take a point, I don't think. Other than Middlesbrough away, I think they will expect or hope to win every game because that's the only way you control the narrative of the promotion race. If they take a draw at Norwich and both Middlesbrough and Millwall win, all of a sudden you're chasing again. And yes, they're chasing with 2 games in hand, but that's up here. It's all in your mind in terms of we've got to win games. The desperation becomes that bit harder. I think you've got to go all out to win. I don't think you can afford to take a draw. If anything, I'd probably go the opposite. Rather than the draw being the play, I'd go either of the others. I think you've got to pick a winner, and I think both teams will really be going for that.
A draw does nothing for Norwich.
No.
Fact. They need to win every game.
And I'm not sure it's particularly helpful for Ipswich, because 1 point or 3, that I don't think they can afford to drop 2 in any game because they've got to go all out because the games are adding up. And so while you've got the freshness in your legs, you've got to maximise your points because when you are dug in the trenches, playing twice a week with the build-up Wednesday, Saturday, that's when you are more likely to drop points. So early on in this run, they've got to maximise as much as they can.
And also with the Middlesbrough Ipswich game coming up, they need a 3-point advantage essentially to neglect that game over Middlesbrough. So that's where a point or 2 might not.
I think they'll be sensible though. I think they'll go to Carrow Road and they'll try and can we frustrate Norwich City a little bit and can we sort of just quieten the storm. If I've got having the same thing as you, getting the expression
quiet in the storm.
Is it
yeah,
quiet
that's
in the
right.
storm?
That's okay.
Is that the right?
Ride out the storm.
Ride the storm. Yeah. Weather the storm.
Weather the storm.
They'll try and weather the storm, and then maybe use their depth in the last half an hour to try and kill the game off. I think that'll be the plan for Kieran McKenna.
Do Ipswich has the resilience for that defensively? Away from home in particular, in a season where that's been one of their big Achilles heels? I think they'll want to go and they'll want to really turn up in this game. I don't think they can afford to give that sort of cat and mouse game. I think it's going to be a great watch.
I know they've only played 39, but Ipswich have conceded the fewest goals in the Championship this season, 40 in 39 games, which is impressive. Is that right? I think that might be the right. I think that is right, yeah.
Are you looking at the right line?
I think I am looking at the right line there, yeah. They have only conceded 40, Middlesbrough 41, Cov 42. So
Nothing in it, I suppose.
nothing in it at all. But how do we see it? How do we see it going? Norwich are unbeaten, by the way, at home since losing against Ipswich. Thanks, producer Seb. Since 2006. So
I'm going to go completely against Ollie. I think it's going to be 0-0.
Wow.
Norwich win for me. I'm going to back it. I think the home team in this form, with the momentum, with the idea of spoiling this party, I'm going to back 2-1 Norwich.
I think it might be an incredible game of football. And I'm not going to stay on the fence. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Norwich win. Ooh. I think they are one of the best teams in the league right now. And what was yours?
10-1, I believe.
2-1. I think it's 9-1 if you want to get on that. And so I think that's where the value is. I think there is serious. I think there's money to be won in this game. And I think it's backing the home team.
Wow. Let us know what you think is going to happen. Get your score predictions in the comments down below. Please do like and subscribe while you're there. Norwich fans, Ipswich fans, how nervous are you heading into this massive East Anglian derby? We can't wait for it. We'll all be glued to it, and we'll see you on Monday to reflect on everything that happens at Carrow Road. We'll see you then.